What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Wrath2501 here. Okay, guys, so we are continuing on with the adventures of the Doomslayer in Warhammer 40k. This is, of course, by Dreadcore. Very good series he's got here for it so far. This is part 5. This is part 4. Part 5 just came out a little while ago, and he, even before part 5 was even out, he already put out a thing announcing the release of the date and everything of part 6 already. It's like, damn, man. This thing is just... Well, this thing is kind of blowing up. Anyway, guys, yes. Given that this is actually so amazing, I'm going to say this right now before the video even starts. Click on the link to the original in the description, guys, and like the original and sub to Dreadcore's channel. They got like 8.5K subs. Come on, these videos are pulling in like over 30K views. They should be getting. They should have at least like 10, 15K subs. All right, help them out, guys. Anyway, yeah. Let's see. We got here and go.
The roaring inferno of the crash site still sizzled as the salamanders regrouped, patching their wounds and fortifying their perimeter. Captain Nathalion stood watch over his surviving brothers, his gaze shifting toward the horizon where the dense jungle stretched far into the distance. They were stranded, battered, but alive. For now. In the distance, the Doomslayer loomed like a shadow, unmoving. He stood over the mangled corpses of the orcs he had slain, his presence a fortress of stoic rage. None of the salamanders dared disturb him. His silence, coupled with the terrifying brutality he unleashed, spoke volumes. His helmet remained locked forward, as if he were waiting for something. Nathalion's voxling crackled.
He can hear something.
Captain, no signal from Imperial Command yet. We're blind out here. Keep trying, Veshon. We don't have the luxury of time, Nathalion replied. A low hum suddenly vibrated the air around them, growing louder by the second. The ground beneath their feet trembled. Nathalion spun, bolter raised as the salamanders followed suit. From the jungle's darkened sky, monstrous shapes began descending, blotting out the stars.
Tyranids. Oh wow, that's a pretty good AI Tyranid.
Grotesque, swooped down with terrifying speed. Behind them, swarms of Tyranid creatures emerged from the trees, their screeches piercing through the night. The salamander's bolters flared to life, unleashing volleys of fire into the sky as the Tyranids closed in. Flesh borers and spore mines exploded overhead as winged gargoyles darted through the sky.
Those are annoying as hell.
Stretched, aiming for the vulnerable survivors. They've found us, Drasos bellowed, tearing a gargoyle apart with his chainsword as it swooped too close.
Ooh.
It's a Tyranid hive fleet fragment, Nathalion growled, his eyes narrowing. They must have intercepted our beacon. Hold the line, brothers. The ground rumbled again. And with it came the sound of hundreds of scuttling legs and the gnashing of alien mandibles.
Well, if there are orcs on the planet, they'll fight the Tyranids too.
With Hormagaunts and Termagants charging through the underbrush in an unstoppable wave. The salamanders formed a defensive line, their bolters firing relentlessly. But for every Xenos they put down, more took its place.
Yep.
The Doomslayer stood on the front line, unbothered by the chaos around him. He fired his shotgun point blank.
Dude, what is with this Doomslayer?
Its skull vaporized by the impact. Another Tyranid lunged at him, but he grabbed it midair.
And what the hell is that behind him?
Twist before
it's nasty
crushing
looking.
His skull beneath his boot. Even as the swarm encroached, his movements remained methodical, a machine of pure destruction. But the swarm was unending. Soon, the salamanders
so
was
his desire to kill.
The air was thick with spores, the jungle alight with muzzle flashes, and the sound of screeching aliens filled the night. Even with the Doomslayer at their side, the numbers were against them. We can't hold forever, Veshon yelled, slamming the magazine into his bolter as he gunned down more Tyranids. As if in response to his words, the trees on the far side of the clearing trembled violently. Something massive approached, crushing trees beneath its monstrous weight. The salamanders braced themselves as a towering Carnifex burst from its chitinous armor gleamed.
That looks like fun.
And its eyes burned with a ravenous hunger.
That's not a Carnifex, but whatever.
Drasos muttered. The Carnifex roared, its massive maw opening wide as it charged forward, trampling over its own lesser brethren. Its crushing claws smashed aside a salamander, sending him flying into a tree, armor crumpling from the impact. The creature barreled towards the Doomslayer with terrifying speed. Nathalion shouted, "Slayer, watch out!" The Doomslayer barely had time to turn before the Carnifex struck, its claws closing around him with bone-shattering force. The creature let out a guttural roar and lifted the Slayer into the air, savouring its victory. Without hesitation, it shoved the Doomslayer into its gaping maw, swallowing him whole.
That's a bad idea. That is a very bad idea.
As the Carnifex devoured their unstoppable ally. Doomslayer,
yeah.
No.
Hence that unstoppable.
The Carnifex reared back, letting out a triumphant roar as it devoured its prey.
Victory, my boy. Yeah.
A loud crack echoed from within the creature. The Carnifex paused, its roar faltering. Another crack. This time, a jet of greenish blood spurted from the beast's side. The creature staggered, its eyes wide with confusion. Then, with a sickening squelch, its massive head exploded, shattering the battlefield in gore. From the torn carcass of the Carnifex, the Doomslayer emerged, his armor dripping with alien ichor. In one hand he held his shotgun, smoke rising from the barrel. With the other, he reached out and tore through the creature's viscera, pulling himself free from the now lifeless corpse. He stood atop the Carnifex's broken body.
Oh man, I want to see that in the game!
As if he had simply swatted a fly.
Yeah, he
the
did,
sight
basically.
sent shockwaves through the battlefield. The remaining Tyranids faltered, their hive mind rattled by the display of raw power. The salamanders, emboldened by the Doomslayer's resilience, redoubled their efforts.
Yeah, find something to stick to your craw a little bit, you little
down
bastard.
The remaining swarm with ruthless precision. The battle raged on for what felt like hours, but in reality, it was over within minutes. With the Carnifex dead and their swarm disrupted, the Tyranids began to retreat, fleeing into the darkened jungle. Nathalion wiped blood from his face, watching as the last of the Xenos scuttled away. By the Emperor, he's unstoppable. Drassos grinned, limping back to stand beside his captain. I think the Tyranids got more than they bargained for.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everybody always does. Everybody thinks that they're that guy. They're going to be the guy to take out the Doomslayer.
Captain, this is Striker victorious. We've picked up your beacon. Hold tight, reinforcements are en route. The salamanders let out a collective sigh of relief. Help was finally on the way. As the reinforcements arrived and began to extract the battered survivors, the Doomslayer made his way silently to the drop zone. His expression remained impassive, but there was something simmering behind his eyes, something dark and determined. Once aboard the Salamander's battle barge, Nathalion noticed the Doomslayer heading toward the ship's armory. He watched as the Slayer methodically stocked up on ammunition, his movements deliberate and calculated.
He wouldn't really need to.
He grabbed a bolter,
without demons,
and enough ammunition to last a lifetime.
Chainsword.
But there was something more, something in the way the Slayer carried himself, as if he were preparing for a journey that no one else could follow.
Technically, even one bullet is enough ammo to last a lifetime. Someone else's.
The Doomslayer didn't answer, simply holstered his weapons and turned toward a smaller vessel in the hangar bay. "Where are you going?" Drassos called out, his voice filled with concern. The Doomslayer paused, glancing over his shoulder. His gaze was cold and unwavering, yet he said nothing. With that, he boarded the vessel and fired up its engines. The salamanders watched in stunned silence as the ship lifted off and sped into the void, vanishing into the stars.
He's not allowed to do that? Shit, you gonna stop him?
The planet was silent, lifeless. Dust storms swept across its desolate surface, and the blackened sky hung low, oppressive. The Doomslayer stood alone, his ship having landed with a dull thud in the distance. He had followed the coordinates, and now he waited. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, from the horizon,
what the Chaos Gods promised,
massive, towering, and terrifying. Angron, demon primarch of the World Eaters, materialized from the...
Doesn't Gazgul Mag Uruk Thraka have beef with Angron for killing Yarrick? Like, isn't he, like, literally hunting his ass down to beat his ass for killing what is essentially his best friend? You know, just wondering about that.
The shadows. his blood-red armor glowing with malevolent power. His eyes burned with hatred, and his presence was like a living furnace, scorching everything in his path. "You have come," Angron growled, his voice like grinding steel. "You know what you seek. Kneel before me, Slayer. Accept the gifts of the Chaos Gods.
That's a cool Angron.
Grant you power beyond your wildest imagination."
Kind of looks like the armor that Davoth wore when the Doomslayer beat his ass.
He dropped to one knee, his head bowed. Angron laughed, his voice booming across the wasteland. "Yes, submit, and the galaxy will be yours to destroy." The demon Primarch.
It already is, dude.
Figure, his massive hand outstretched to bestow his dark blessing. But as Angron drew close, the Doomslayer moved. In an instant, he was on his feet, his chainsword igniting with a roar. With lightning speed, he drove the blade into Angron's midsection, splitting armor and flesh alike.
Oh, damn!
The demon Primarch.
I like that weapon right there. How it
swinging
looks.
his massive axe at the Doomslayer. But the Doomslayer was too fast. He ducked beneath the swing and fired his bolt pistol point blank into Angron's chest, the explosive rounds tearing chunks of flesh from the Chaos Primarch's body. The battle was savage and brutal.
Yeah.
Angron's strength was terrifying, and every blow he landed sent the Doomslayer reeling. Even the Slayer, who had fought countless demonic horrors, could feel the weight of Angron's fury in each strike.
You're like, oh wow, you're good. I can feel that.
Dented by the relentless assault, and blood seeped from his wounds.
Oh, wait a
His armor
sec.
cracked and dented under the weight of Angron's fury in each strike. The Doomslayer's armor cracked and dented under the relentless assault.
Okay, see, that's a yeah, that's what I thought I heard. Alright, see, that's the thing. This guy doesn't get it. The Praetor suit is indestructible. It is literally designed to be indestructible. It has withstood forces far greater than anything Angron can dish out, okay? And never taken a scratch. That's the whole point of it. So, yeah, I'm sorry, dude, but that's a fallacy you have right there.
And blood seeped from his wounds. But he didn't falter.
See, that's another thing right there. Blood seeping from his wounds. You could make the Slayer bleed, but literally only for like a second. He heals virtually instantaneously. Like to the point where, like, if you were to cut him, the wound would literally be healing on the other side of the blade. Like as you're moving, it'd just be like, zhup. It'd be like you just tried to cut through tofu or like, I don't know, water or something like that, because it literally just flows back together. I mean, yeah, as the blade exits and goes like, you get blood, but you're not going to get a lot of blood. Okay, that's the thing. The Slayer's healing factor is crazy strong. We're talking Wolverine wish he was that good. All right, I'm just saying. So that's another fallacy he's got right there.
His grip on his chainsaw tightened, and his rage burned brighter, unyielding. With a roar, the Doomslayer surged forward, his chainsword revving as he swung with brutal precision. He struck again and again, each blow chipping away at Angron's monstrous form.
Yeah.
Angron retaliated, his claws and teeth
He can't keep that up
dark
forever.
energies of chaos. But the Doomslayer's resilience was unbreakable. His sheer will and tenacity matched even the might of a demon Primarch. At last, the Doomslayer
Matches the might of the
Angron raised
Chaos
his
Gods
axe
themselves.
leaving his torso exposed. Seizing the moment, the Doomslayer drove his chainsword into Angron's midsection, the teeth of the blades biting deep into his corrupted flesh. Angron let out a roar of agony, blood spraying as the chainsword dug deeper. The Doomslayer twisted the blade, then wrenched it upward, tearing a massive gash through Angron's body. Angron
You
staggered
split
back,
your ass from mouth to
clutching the
anus.
wound, his expression twisted with fury and disbelief. The Doomslayer didn't let up. He holstered his chainsword and drew his bolt pistol, unleashing a relentless volley of shots directly into Angron's chest and face. The rounds exploded on impact, each one tearing more chunks from the demon Primarch's flesh. Angron stumbled, his strength waning as the Doomslayer closed in for a final blow. With one last roar, the Doomslayer raised his chainsword and brought it down with all his might. The blade bit deep into Angron's neck, and with a brutal twist, he severed the demon Primarch's head from his body. For a moment, there was silence. The chaos energies that had once surrounded Angron's body dissipated.
FYI, Angron is dead. Dead. Like true death. He's not going to get revived. That is the ability of the Doomslayer to bring true death to immortal beings that can revive. That's what he does. See, the problem with blades like yours is they finish the job too quick. My blade will rend you to a fine paste in 1,000,000 strikes.
Leaving only the mangled remains of the fallen Primarch. The Doomslayer stood over the corpse, breathing heavily, his armor battered and bloodstained.
He wouldn't need to be breathing heavily. The Doomslayer is always has a calm breath because he doesn't even need to breathe.
Tracked the Doomslayer's ship to
oh, jeez!
Captain Nathalion and his squad descended to the surface.
Squirt of lemon!
And the echoes of the violent.
Those of you who know.
As they approached, they saw the Doomslayer standing amidst the remains of Angron. The once mighty demon Primarch lay in pieces, his blood soaking into the cracked earth.
Where's Angron? Over there, and up there.
A surge of awe and disbelief. They had come to track their strange ally, but they had not expected to find Angron, one of the Chaos Primarchs, defeated.
Hey, you found most of them.
Salamanders approached, weapons lowered, their expressions a mix of awe and respect. Slayer, Nathalion said, his voice tinged with reverence. We did not think it possible to kill a demon Primarch. Yet here you stand. The Doomslayer turned, his gaze cold and resolute. Nathalion took a step forward, his expression softening. You don't need to fight alone. We are your brothers. Let us stand beside you. The Doomslayer was silent, his gaze shifting from the salamanders.
He would be reluctant. Last time he fought alongside a bunch of people, some of them betrayed him,
but his eyes
and then he had to watch as the others died.
They held a vision, a purpose yet unfulfilled. We'll need more than just strength to face what comes next, he growled. Help me build a weapon, one that can end the threat of these chaos gods for good.
A big fucking weapon.
The salamanders would stand with him. Together, they would forge a weapon of unimaginable power, one to strike at the heart of chaos itself. As they gathered the fallen Angron's remains, the Doomslayer's gaze drifted to the heavens.
Why did you gather his remains?
The chaos gods lingered, watching with fury. He clenched his fists.
Impotent fury, because you can do nothing to him.
Chaos would tremble, for this was only the beginning.
The Chaos Gods watch with impotent fury, because they can do nothing to him. Alright? They didn't realize that the Doomslayer is essentially not only their equal, he is their better. Alright? This is probably before Doom Eternal, but after Doom 2016, so he has the power of the Divinity Machine, but he has not yet absorbed the power of Davoth, turning him into literally a multiversal entity. Yeah, at the end of Doom Eternal, one of the reasons he was sealed away in that coffin was because he absorbed the power of Davoth, and his powers were could rage out of control. He was literally a threat to the multiverse just by existing. That's how crazy powerful he become. Anyway, so there we go. Part 5 coming soon, guys. I am loving this series. This is brilliant. This is genius. I love everything about it and everything it stands for. Guys, definitely, if you enjoyed this, like this video, subscribe. Definitely click on the link to the original in the description. Like the original and sub to Dreadcore's channel. Oh, God, I love this. Whew. Get me horny. This is brutal, man. This sounds like a premise for it would be an amazing game. id/Bethesda needs to do a collab with somebody with Games Workshop to make this game. It would be amazing. Anyway, like this video, subscribe, guys. Definitely click on the link to the original, like the original, sub to Dreadcore. Tune in every day for new content, guys. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.